Hello and welcome, I'm King Gowdy from Sax Comprehensive, and in this video we will review one of Hercules' saxophone stands. Now there are many stands out there. You can get stands that you screw onto the wall, you can get tall stands, short stands, unusual stands, you can get stands which just look great. But each of these stands will have their own advantages and disadvantages. And these advantages and disadvantages might be how the stand actually folds up for storage or travel. It might be how sturdy the stands are. It might be how stable they are when you place them on the ground. It may be how well it actually grabs the saxophone or holds the saxophone to the stand. And the player would have to make up in their mind what they're actually looking for in a stand before they purchase one. Personally, for me, I just wanted a short stand, just in case the saxophone fell off the stand, then it'll be a shorter distance to actually fall and therefore less damage. I wanted a stand that I could just put in the corner of the room and rest my saxophone on it when I'm not playing. Usually I do not store my saxophone in its case, I just leave it to air dry on the saxophone stand. So after I played it, I'll put the saxophone on the stand, leave it to air dry, and the next day when it's time to practice again, I would just pick it up and start playing. Now the only disadvantage of that is that the saxophone can gather some dust, but since every time at the end of each practice session I will give it a good clean and a wipe down, I'm not so concerned about dust. And that is the reason why I bought this particular Hercules saxophone stand. This stand, you can actually put a tenor or an alto saxophone on it because you can adjust the lower arm, which I will tell you about a little later. I have owned one of these for many years, and since I've now purchased a tenor saxophone, I wanted to buy another one for my tenor saxophone. You can buy the stand with or without a peg, or you can buy these pegs separately. Basically, it's just to hold another instrument on the saxophone stand. On the saxophone stand, there are these two screw holes on the base, and you can actually take your peg and just screw it into one of those base screw holes, and then you can actually put the instrument over on top of the peg. Now you can actually use these pegs to hold a trumpet, cornet, flute or clarinet or piccolo or some other version of those instruments. So now let's see what you get inside of the box. In the box is a storage bag, a leaflet showing the different peg attachments that can be used with the stand, and the stand itself fully folded. When the stand is fully folded in this way, even though it's compact, it will not fit in the bell of a tenor saxophone. The stand has these spring-loaded catches which lock the moving arms in place. When the arms are fully extended to the correct position, it will click into place and lock. To release the moving arms, you simply push in the spring-loaded catch and move the relevant arm. All the arms lock in a certain position except for the arm that holds the bell of the saxophone. This arm is adjustable to suit the length of the saxophone. You simply slide the arm up or down, and when pressure is applied to it, friction will keep it in place. The peg can be adjusted by a locking lever. Open the lever and move the part that keeps the additional instrument secure and lock it again. To attach the peg to the stand, simply remove the rubber cover and screw the peg into the stand. Once the lower arm is in the correct position, the saxophone can be placed on the stand. Here is my alto and tenor saxophone on their stands. To fold up the stand, Simply press in the spring-loaded catches and close the relevant arms. Now to some of the comments made by others who had bought the product. It was said that the lower arm was too loose. If you compare my old stand to my new one, you will see that the lower arm on my new stand is loose compared to the old stand, but I think it's a matter of tightening the bolts. You can also see that the new stand has a lot more movement in it, but again I think it's a matter of tightening the appropriate bolts. Someone stated that he adjusted the lower arm for his tenor saxophone, but then put his alto saxophone on the stand instead of his tenor saxophone, and because the lower arm was too low, the alto saxophone nearly fell off the stand. However, with me, when the lower arm is still at its lowest point and I put my alto saxophone on the stand, my alto saxophone still seems secure. So I suppose it depends on what type of alto saxophone that you have. If you're going to be in the habit of opening and closing the stand, such as when you take it on gigs, then make sure that all of the moving arms click into place and lock into place. The stand is sturdy, well made and folds up rather small and suits my purposes well, and therefore I would recommend this stand to others. Well, hopefully you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, then obviously give it a like as usual. And I will review some other products shortly. If you're not yet a subscriber, then please consider subscribing to this channel, and I shall see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.